Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to use the profiling tool, the emotional profiling tool. We will use it based on an internal study we have conducted here at Humano. 5 friends and family and people at Humano, have been answering to a qualitative survey that I personally delivered, and they were basically exposed, and I just showed them a few emotionally evocative contents, and they had some reaction. And that's what we're going to evaluate here. And the idea is to identify whether there is a different profiles based on the fact that people already saw the content that I displayed during the interview, or if they discovered it for the first time. So this is how we're going to work on the data based on that assumption. So how can we very easily do that? The first thing is to name our two profiles. So the first profile is going to represent people who are the first time viewers of the content. So first time viewers. And the second category will be people who have already seen the content. So already seen profile. All right, we are done. We have two categories. This is our assumption. This is what we want to test based on the data we have. So now I'm going to apply those profiles to the people I've been interviewing. So Thierry was a first-time viewer. He didn't had the chance to look at these media before. And you can see on the right, immediately there is some calculation that's going to display the information. So I'm going to continue the profiling. So Kelly had already seen the content because she worked on it previously. Same for Yaya. Dejan was the first time for him. And you can see on the main part, there's already some live calculation. We don't pay attention to it yet. We will just finish our profiling. Yeah, for Sasha, he was a first-time viewer. So we are done. Now we just have to look at the data and analyze what we have in front of us. So we have two columns because we have two categories that we want to analyze and we want to compare. The first-time viewer profile regroups 3 interviews and 2 into the already seen. So makes sense. Let's see what happens. And here we have a few sections that are going to represent minutes by minutes the reactions regrouped by each category. That's interesting to have this overview because it gives an idea on how all along the interview the people were reacting. So first of all, we have the evaluation of the attention on the upper parts of the section. And when the box is green, it means that we have a cluster that is well enough to represent a good clustering profile, like a good way to validate the fact that we have people within the same cluster, within the same profile. On the contrary, when we have some red color, it means that there is a big gap between the extreme values, and we have the median that is also calculated. So it gives an idea that here we have one of these participants that had an extreme reaction with amusement during this section, where the other ones on the opposite were probably within this range, like between 10 to 20. So that's interesting. So first thing we can see here is that we already have some really interesting data, right? So if we just scroll at the entire to get another view, we can see that, yeah, the overall attention is pretty good, right? We have a green box for almost all the sections, yeah, all of them, and this one is really super good. So it means that we have all the qualitative interviews have been conducted seriously, meaning that everyone was really engaged and paying attention to what we are doing. So that's the first analysis that we can do. Second thing we can see is that we can make an assumption that the first-time viewers will react more intuitively, more spontaneously, based on the content that we are going to show them. And obviously, this is what we can picture on this report. How can we see that? Well, all the emotions are displayed here and grouped by between all the categories, and we can see that our first-time viewer category here have a lot of reactions. You can see here the scale going up to 45 and between 10 to 20, 25, and that's higher than for the already seen category. So for this section, that makes sense. For this one, it's more homogeneous, and the reason why is that during the second minute of the interview, there were quite not much interaction because we were more thinking about one quote from Maya Angelou, really inspiring quote. And then we went through the presentation of a few really evocating videos. And here, things start to become interesting. Regular session number 3, yes, we have a wide variety of emotions for the first time seen viewer. Categories, same here, and really less reactions for the already seen category. Same here, again, same here, more various reaction, emotional reaction with surprise and confusion, where you don't have any of them for the second time or third time viewers. So the same pattern repeats and repeats and repeats again. So definitely here we can make an assumption that the first time viewers have a more intense emotional response to evocative content than people that have already seen them. So that's a very interesting learning. And we're going to continue to get more and more respondents and try to identify more categories like first-time viewers, second-time viewers, and more. And maybe there are also some differences. One thing that I would like to end on is one interesting learning that Kelly showed me. For people who already seen some of the contents that we've been displaying, they actually still have an amusement reaction to the funny things, and they mainly have an amusement on all the things that make them laugh, and it still happens even if they already seen the video. So that's interesting because that's an emotion that seems to be not related to a characteristic of being first time lived emotion. It seems like amusement, even with something that already made you feel amused, will also continue to make you feel amused the second time you'll see it and the third time you're going to see it. And we were going to deep dive into that specific learning, because we can continue to display some content that made people laugh before and still continue in interviewing them one time and two times again, and watching how this particular learning really behave on the long term. So interesting for that. We already have 5 people in the interview, and we're going to improve that learning through the profiling, the emotional profiling, as long as we have more interviews into this study. So stay tuned. We are going to make more videos very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.